Today, the 1st of July 2025, the government's Welfare Reform Bill has passed through to its next stage in Parliament after further last-minute concessions. So what does it all mean? There is good news and bad news. The good news is that, at least for now, existing claimants can celebrate that the government has reversed its plans to remove their benefit, and they will no longer have to score 4 points on a daily living descriptor in order to keep their personal independence payment. There is some good news for future claimants too. The timing of proposed changes to personal independence payment will be delayed until after November 2026 and after the results of the Timm's review. But the joy might not last, because there is a major problem with these new government concessions. Let's look at what this problem might be. One issue that stands out for me is that the government, along with the DWP, may try to find another crafty way to toughen the PIP eligibility criteria. You may have noticed that hidden amongst the concessions for existing and future PIP claimants is a statement that Ministers will now carry out a review of the PIP assessment process with input from disability organisations. What does this mean? It looks like this assertion alludes to the Timm's review. According to the government, the Timm's review is about examining the PIP assessment process. The review will look at the PIP assessment criteria, including activities, descriptors, and how the points are scored. It seems that the review will examine both the daily living and mobility aspects of the PIP assessment. According to Liz Kendall, the review will conclude by the autumn of 2026, and we will then implement any changes arising from it as quickly as possible. So far as I can see, the assessment that is created by Timms will be a new single assessment. So it will apply to both existing and new claimants. There is no indication so far that current claimants would be exempt from the provisions of this new assessment. Therefore, the concessions announced by the government that existing PIP claimants would not be affected by the 4-point rule may not be worth the paper they were written on. Indeed, the promised protections may not last, because the government has also announced that it will be pushing through a new assessment system as quickly as possible after the Timm's review has reported in the autumn of 2026. So then, the next question that you may be asking yourselves is, what changes might the Timm's review recommend? It would seem that the Timm's review intends to look at every aspect of the PIP assessment criteria. The problem is that its own written terms of reference are very vague. For example, it simply says that the goal of the review is to ensure that the PIP assessment is fair and reflects the reality of people's conditions and aspirations, whilst taking account of changes in society since PIP was introduced. It also claims that it will consider how the PIP assessment could provide access to the right support at the right level. What that's going to mean in practice is difficult to know. Perhaps the only thing that is clear at the moment is that the review will be very wide-ranging and it will be completed at high speed. And that's not a good combination, in my opinion. What's also clear is that disabled people will have another 12 months in limbo waiting to see what happens to their entitlement. And that's just cruel and unfair. The Welfare Reform Bill has passed to its next stage in Parliament, and the Timm's review is underway. Perhaps the concessions that were announced by the government are not as worthwhile as they may have initially seemed. We still have a fight on our hands. But let's not forget, we're winning it. The government was frightened this week. Even with a massive majority in Parliament, Starmer nearly lost control of his own party. So keep on with the campaigns and protests. Carry on emailing your MP. Because a government under attack, and one that is terrified, may choose to use the Timm's review to soften rather than toughen the PIP criteria. Just think about their position. I wish you all the very best with your future PIP claims.